The name of the miracle, Pinocchio. The wooden heart awakens to infinity.
In the forest, amidst the whispers of the wind, a log awaited its destiny. But this was no ordinary piece of wood. Inside, a heart was beating. Geppetto's hands, with a craftsmanship that defied time, breathed life into this wood. With each carve, a miracle began to take shape. And then, the moment arrived. The first breath. The first opening of eyes. A child, yet not. A dream, yet real. A miracle, yet unnamed. And at that moment, even the stars burned brighter. Geppetto looked at Pinocchio's face with trembling hands. Was this real? He had dreamed of a son for years. And now, that dream was breathing. Pinocchio blinked. He saw light for the first time. The colors, the shadows, the flickering glow of the workshop. But most of all, he saw Geppetto. And at that moment, he felt something. Father? Geppetto's eyes filled with tears. No, this was not just a puppet. This was his son. But Pinocchio wanted to move. He tried to wiggle his wooden legs. Creak! The wood groaned. He tried to take a step, but thud! He fell to the ground. Geppetto rushed to his side, gathering him in his arms. Don't worry, my son. You'll learn to walk. Pinocchio lifted his head. For the first time, a smile appeared on his face. He had found someone he could call father. But then, in the corner of the workshop, a dazzling beam of light appeared. It was as if it had descended from the sky. Pinocchio, the light whispered. Geppetto and Pinocchio turned their heads at the same time. And at that moment, they knew another miracle was about to begin. Pinocchio shone under the moonlight streaming through Geppetto's workshop window. His small wooden body trembled as if a hidden energy was awakening inside him. At that very moment, the room filled with a mystical glow. From the golden winds, the blue fairy emerged, gracefully descending beside Pinocchio. With a gentle voice, she whispered, "Everything shaped with love can one day become real." A soft beam of light flowed from her fingertips, touching Pinocchio's small wooden chest. And in that instant, a miracle happened. Pinocchio's wooden heart beat for the very first time. Geppetto's eyes widened in disbelief. His son's eyes sparkled, and from his lips came a small, tender word. Father? Tears of joy streamed down Geppetto's cheeks. Hearing his son's voice for the first time was the greatest happiness he had ever known. But Pinocchio was no longer just a puppet. He was a living miracle. Pinocchio looked around the room in amazement. Once, he had been controlled by strings, but now, he was free. The moonlight touched his small wooden hands. He opened and closed his tiny fingers, then slowly lifted his head. Under Geppetto's joyful gaze, he took his first step. He wobbled, lost his balance, and plop! He crashed into a chair. Geppetto rushed to his side. "You're okay, son," he laughed, helping him up. Pinocchio looked up and giggled. That was fun. Just then, a voice echoed from the corner. Wow! I've never seen a puppet walk before. Standing in the doorway was a small cricket in a neat little jacket. I'm Jiminy Cricket. Walking is great, little friend, but remember, being a real boy isn't just about walking. Your heart must find the right path too. Pinocchio blinked. Becoming a real boy? The thought filled him with excitement. Jiminy Cricket's words echoed in Pinocchio's mind. Becoming a real boy, Pinocchio looked at his wooden hands. Then he turned to Geppetto. Father, how can I become a real boy? Geppetto smiled, his eyes glistening. Ah, my boy. That would be a great miracle. But who can say how it might happen? Just then, a mystical breeze swept through the room. The curtains fluttered, and a soft blue glow filled the space. And there she was. The blue fairy floated gracefully, descending before Pinocchio. Dear Pinocchio, I see the light within you. But becoming a real boy isn't just about wishing. You must be brave, truthful, and kind-hearted. Pinocchio nodded eagerly. Yes. I will be good. I promise. The blue fairy raised her wand and gently touched him. Zing! A warm light glowed in Pinocchio's wooden heart. He felt a strange warmth inside. The journey to becoming real had begun. As the blue fairy's magic settled inside Pinocchio, a loud voice echoed from outside. Come one, come all. The greatest show is about to begin. Pinocchio curiously peeked outside. A crowd had gathered in front of a giant red tent. Inside, laughter, cheers, and music filled the air. Just then, a sly-looking fox in a top hat approached him. Well, well. A talking wooden boy, the man said with a cunning grin. I'm Honest John. I can make you famous. Everyone will watch you, admire you. What do you say, Pinocchio? Pinocchio's eyes sparkled. Famous? Jiminy Cricket whispered. Does this man seem trustworthy to you, Pinocchio? But Pinocchio was already dreaming of the spotlight. He eagerly followed Honest John. Inside, a grand stage with dazzling lights awaited. People clapped, cheered, and danced. As soon as Pinocchio stepped on stage, a thunderous applause erupted. But something was wrong. Honest John and his partner, Gideon, locked Pinocchio inside a cage. You're our puppet now. Honest John growled. You'll dance only for us. Pinocchio's eyes widened. He grabbed the bars of the cage. Father, help me. But Geppetto was far away. Jiminy Cricket sighed. I told you, Pinocchio. To become real, you must be honest and brave. Pinocchio lowered his head. If he wanted to be real, he had to do the right thing. But how? Pinocchio shivered inside the cage. His dream of becoming real had turned into a nightmare. But then, zing! The magical light in his chest began to glow. The blue fairy's voice echoed, Pinocchio, choosing the right path is never easy. But your courage will set you free. Pinocchio closed his eyes and listened to his heart. And suddenly, he felt a powerful force. Crack! The cage bars shattered. Honest John stumbled back. This is impossible. But Pinocchio wasn't the same anymore. He thought of Geppetto, how much he loved him. And then, a miracle. Pinocchio's wooden hands turned into soft skin. Pinocchio was now a real boy. Geppetto hugged him with tears in his eyes. "Son, you're finally real." And from that day on, Pinocchio never forgot the power of honesty, courage, and love.
If you love this magical story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing adventures. Stay tuned for new journeys.